What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I figured I'd do a quick video today. Basically going over my current PS5 collection. It's not massive, anything obvious. You're looking at it right now. But I figured I'd go over all the games I have. Which ones I've played, which ones I've beaten, which ones I haven't started yet. If they're new or newer. And we have Peach joining us. Peach, say hi. This is probably a better video done on the table with the little ghetto studio set up, but I figured the computer was a more fun backdrop. So, alright, so let's get started. Hold on 1 second here. I'm gonna separate these. Alright. You guys can stare at the computer screen. That's one of Razer's free wallpapers. This one's like a dynamic. The sun behind the earth changes colors. You can see it's pretty cool. I think the earth changes color too. Actually, everything does. It's the first time I actually looked at it. I just thought it'd be better for contrasting all the shortcuts, so you wouldn't have an issue seeing them when I go do stuff with them. So, alright. So, my whole collection is, I think, 11 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. 11 games. It's basically 2 because one of them is a double, I guess. So, first one, we're going to do it in alphabetical order. It's Dead Space, the remake by Motif. It's a great game. So, I got into video games. Oh, everything's shut down because I haven't done it. Alright, we're gonna do this with the tripod up. So I got into video games, and this one just comes with the disc, nothing special. I got into video games, probably back into video games around 2006, 2008, something like that. And I pretty much went overnight from a Super Nintendo to a PlayStation 3. And one of my cats is playing with one of our doors. Fun. It's probably Oreo. So, I picked up a launch edition PS3 from a coworker of mine whose son got himself into trouble, and they were selling some of his stuff to get a lawyer. And I got the PS3 launch edition backwards compatible for a fairly decent price at the time. And one of the first games I played was Dead Space and Dead Space 2, and then I heard Dead Space 3 was awful, so I didn't mess with it. And I recently got Dead Space 3, I think, I want to say like January or something of 21, when we were in the middle of, the dark times. In that game, I thought that game was fairly decent. I didn't think it was horrible. The crafting system, you went from like a weapon upgrade system to a crafting system, and obviously there was loot boxes that they weren't there by the time I got to the game, so it didn't bother me any. But you basically went from, this game is our hero Isaac Clarke going from an engineer in this one, survival horror with a handful of weapons, and they're all mining based because it's a space mining game, to more of almost a soldier in Dead Space 2, still a survival horror game, to basically Call of Duty in space with space zombies instead of Nazis. So, yeah. But when this came out, I just had to pick it up, and I think I beat it 2 or 3 times, and I have everything but I beat it. I haven't beat it on Impossible. That was hard, obviously. So that's the only thing I haven't done with this game. So this game, I beat this several times. I enjoyed this game. I'm probably gonna go back to this game when I do some streaming. As next Friday, the 11th, is my surgery to fix my rotator cuff, and I've almost got everything set up on my computer to do, YouTube stuff. So I'm gonna try giving that a shot. Since I'm gonna have some time to do it. The only thing I need to do is pick up a couple cords and maybe a webcam, and I should be good to go. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna bring some of my PlayStations in here and then hook them up to the computer and either stream them or do just footage. I haven't decided that yet. That might not be a thing until after my arm heals up. It all depends. Or I might end up picking up a handful of trying some games on Steam, and taking you guys along on that journey with me, and doing footage on that or streaming on that until I'm healthy. So okay, well, we have spent entirely too much time on one game. So the next game we're gonna do the next 2 games real quick. We'll get those out of the way. And that's F122 and F123. And now that I'm looking at these for the first time in a while, that's kind of interesting. They all have the same guys on the cover. Oh, no, they don't. My bad. I'm over here thinking that, Lewis was on both of them, but it's actually George. So you got on PlayStation 5 F122, you have Lando, Charles Leclerc, and George Russell. And F123, you have Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris. So F122 is awful in terms of its handling, or I'm terrible and I need to get good. I'm fine with either one of those. I don't think there's really anything going on in this. No, just the game. So, let me see if I can. I don't know if that helped any. No, it didn't. The handling's awful. This one looks like you get an insert or something. I don't know what that is. F123 is better. I think that's where they introduced F1 World, or whatever it's called. Parts of it are kind of interesting and cool, but you could just live without it. F121 was pretty good. I think I have that for PlayStation 4, because at the time I didn't have a PlayStation 5, and I was still just buying games and playing them on the PlayStation 4. The physics and the handling in F123 are pretty good. They're not as good as F120 or F12021, but it is what it is. Better. They're not bad. I don't have currently, and I may never pick it up, I don't have F124 because I was watching the let's see here if there's anything else in this. No, I don't. Let me look. They don't have. I really should do some footage. I should do play footage, but this is just quicken on the camera on my phone. F124's handling was a step back. A lot of people online, YouTube, were commenting on such, and it's I wasn't gonna pay $70 for a game that was broken and didn't work right. I wasn't doing that. No. Those days are over. So moving on, this is one of the games I probably have the most time into. This is PS5's MechWarrior 5 and Mercenaries. This one just comes with the disc. This one Miss Tiger's mom got this for me for a present. And if you look here, I don't know how well you can see that. That's the Peggy. That's the European version of the ESRB. And because this is an actual European game, it doesn't work with any of the DLC. So I ended up just downloading that game, and then I downloaded all the DLC, and I've played. I'm like 93% done with that. I think I have probably 800 hours in it between downloading this or installing the original with the Peggy on it and downloading the digital version from PlayStation Network. 93% through with that. I think I have like 6 or 7 mechs to find, and there's a couple other things I need to do. But that game's fun. I was actually playing that a little bit earlier. I just wasn't feeling it. I haven't played games in about 2 weeks, so it is what it is. It's just not. It's later in the evening. It's almost midnight. Moving on. This one's called On the Road Truck Simulator. I bought this, and I think this one just comes with a disc. Yeah, nothing else. This one's also a Peggy. So I bought this kind of as a joke. I had my hip surgery in September 2023, and I figured once my leg healed up enough, I would try to do some truck simulator stuff. You don't have American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator for the PlayStation. That's only a PC game, and I thought this one would be okay. The funny thing about that game is I couldn't, using the wheel and using I have the SF1000 set up, using my wheel and that particular wheel, I couldn't get the vehicle out of park or something. I couldn't release the air brakes. So I never really got it to work. I think I have a couple other simulator style games, but I think they're PS4. So when I do that particular collection, excuse me, we'll see what I got for that too. Moving on. Oh, and I don't know that it had anything to do with that being a European game not working right. I don't know why. This is the second time that's done that. So, Redout 2. I have Redout. I think that's for the PlayStation 4. And I think this is just the game. There might be a little insert in there. So this is basically for those who have played Nintendo back in the day, and maybe Super Nintendo, and maybe N64. There's a game called F-Zero. So this would be the PS4 and PS5 version of that game, but with much better graphics. So basically, you pick a zero-G hovercraft, I suppose, and you run it on a bunch of tracks, and you obviously try to be the fastest. And if you go into corners too hard, you do what's called a redout. Your screen kind of goes black, or goes dim, because you're the G-forces, and they're almost causing you to pass out. Hence the name Redout. This one, I have not played much of. I played it a little bit just to see how it worked. It was fun. The last one, oh, I'm sorry. I probably should have said this. I played F122 very little because of its poor mechanics, and said hell with it and just stopped playing it and played other things. F123 was much better, and I played a lot of that. I was mostly doing time trial on those two games, by the way. I didn't really get into doing too many other races, as I was kind of holding off to get the new computer, and then I got really busy because my laptop, which is pretty much identical to Miss Tiger's, just wasn't up to doing the the editing and things of that nature. It just didn't have the RAM. There's nothing in this. This one, you guys, I showed you guys this before. RoboCop Rogue City. The game is still in my PS5. I haven't taken it out. That I have beaten twice. Not sure how many hours I have in it, but that's a fun one. I'll play that one again on stream at some point. This is new. I showed you guys this in the last pickups. I haven't even opened it yet, but Space Marine 2. I'm sure everybody's seen people play the game and whatnot. I'm looking forward to that one. We'll play that on. I'll probably try to play that on stream, and I'm actually gonna play PS3 for the PS3 Space Marine first. I've started it. God, the biggest problem with PS3 is a lot of the games are the controls are very wonky or janky, and I kind of enjoy playing PS4 and PS5 more because of that. Also, I don't really like using the PS3 too much, as it's I don't know what year I actually got it. I think 2000, sometime between 2006 and 2008. I don't remember when. But it works pretty good for an almost 20-year-old console, and I don't want that to not be the case. And because if that one stops working, I'm going to have to find somebody to repair it, and that's going to be time-consuming and moderately expensive. So I play that game, that system sparingly. Moving on. So this is Terminator Resistance, the enhanced version. This is PS5. I have two of them. One of them, originally, this also was given to me by Miss Tiger's mother as a present. This is the enhanced. I don't know what you'd call this. It's just a big box version, and it's probably got like postcards and stuff. And here, let's see if it says what it comes with. It doesn't really say. But I don't know, there might be a steel book in here or something. I don't know. But if you can see, it's got the Peggy logo on it. So once I realized the Mech Warrior didn't have the ability to do DLC, I didn't know how much DLC was available for Terminator Resistance. So I figured I'm not gonna open that up. I'll just pick up the PS5 normal version, which I did. It was cheap. It was probably like $30, so not a big deal. New. I got it off Amazon. I don't know where I got it from. And then last but not least is the Callisto Protocol. So if you know anything about this game, this one just comes with, I think, an insert. And I think this insert was like you were able to buy. Yeah, I think you got like some stuff to download, like a code to download, like some stuff free, like outfits or something, skins. So Callisto Protocol is a beautiful game in terms of its visuals. It's a little short. That's this crazy robot dude. This is also a background from Razor. So Callisto Protocol is what do you call it? Here, we'll just do though. I'm only gonna be doing this for a few more minutes, so you guys can just look at the computer screens. Both of those are from Razer. The backgrounds, I guess people make them and send them in, and sometimes they win like contests or something. And I just thought this one looked cool. Both of them really. So Callisto Protocol is a very beautiful game, and it had the weird the fighting mechanics. Callisto Protocol is basically Dead Space, but without range weapons and melee combat instead. And it's in a prison setting, and like I said, the game is beautiful to look at, and it's not bad per se. The fighting mechanics aren't horrible. It's got a little bit of a lack of It's got a little bit of a lack of enemies to fight. Real lacking when it comes to the boss fights. You fight the one major guy like 4 times, I think. It's a little bit short. You don't have an in-game map, which I think there's a reason for that because the game's short. And I think the biggest problems with that game come from trying to get it rushed out in time to beat out Dead Space Remake. Because once Dead Space Remake hit, they were probably going to be, that was going to be the end of their sales. Possibly. I think that's how it kind of works these days with movies and not so much music, but movies and media and video games, things like that. The next people want the next best thing. It is what it is. We all have the attention span of a gnat, and that sucks. So the game's not terrible. I beat it on maximum security. I waited patiently for the DLC. The DLC was brutal. Not so much in the fact that it was really great and it was awesome and there was more, obviously more for you to do. But nobody knew it at first, but they had buffed up the enemies and I don't know if they nerfed the main character, Jacob, but I got to the point where it was so difficult that I just dropped it from maximum to whatever the easiest setting is, because at that point I just wanted to beat the game and be done with it because it wasn't fun. It was a chore. Also, I'd gone from playing that game for a while and beating it, and it was kind of difficult at first, but once you play through it once, it wasn't too bad. To playing Dead Space for a while and some other stuff, and the mechanics for the games and the controls in certain cases are for what you're doing are opposites. So you had to like relearn the game, and it was just it was a chore. It was work. It wasn't fun. That game's creator, Glenn Schofield, is the original creator of the original Dead Space, and I was expecting, as I think a lot of us were, a little bit more from the Callisto Protocol, and it really kind of blows that it wasn't going to turn into a series with 2 or 3 games. They could have at least gone off in a slightly different direction with one of the other characters that's in the game with Jacob, Danny. I think her name is Danny Nakamura or something. So, played it, beat it. I think of all these games, I didn't really get a chance to play the truck driving simulator. I just couldn't get the truck. I guess if I try that again with the pad or the controller, it might work out okay. I'm not that interested in fighting out. But other than that, I've played them all. I beat everything except I gotta play Space Marine 2 and I gotta play Red Out. And then I didn't really do what you would refer to as beating F122 or F123. Basically, I think what you do to beat those games that's subjective. There's a lot of things. Both games have a lot of trophies, and you can play up to 10 seasons, and you can do whatever you like with the game in terms of your race choices. Because you can do 2 or 3 different length of seasons. F123 has F1 World, and then that's more of an online experience. The more you do in that game, a lot of the things you do in that game are a lot like Gran Turismo, where you're playing, you're upgrading, you're driving, and you're upgrading your car, and you're building a car to play online against people. And I'm pretty sure, like, if you show up with like a really high tier car, that's the lobby you're getting put into, or something like that. Like depending on your license and depending on your car, that's where you get put to race people online. I think you can probably go up against people that are better than you, but I don't think you can go against people that are not as good. Don't know how it works. So I've never really did too much online with that. I just kind of mostly did time trial stuff and whatever the weekly, monthly, and daily challenges were whenever I was playing. Kind of looking forward to F125, depending on how it plays. We'll see. I won't be pre-ordering it, and I won't be getting it early. I will be waiting to see what all the content creators do, and that'll determine if I pick it up, because I'm not spending $70 on a game if it isn't a good game, if it isn't polished, if it's terrible, if they haven't changed much to it. It's an EA title. See, I already know it's potentially just trash, which sucks because Codemasters isn't a bad studio, but ever since Codemasters got bought by EA and EA got the F1 license, the same things happened to them that they've done to Madden, and for people who like the football games, by that I mean the soccer games, same thing. It just ruins the game. And I'm not spending $70 on basically a roster change. Although in these games, different regulations, different car era regulations can change things up a bit. But you know, at the end of the day, it's the same game, one way, or it's a similar game or a same game, one way or the other. So as of right now, that is my current collection. I have 11 games, one of which is a double, so I have 10 games, and I've played all but one and beaten most and enjoyed all of them for the most part, except for the F122. Everything else, I mean, I could get along with. Don't really know much about the trucking game, or Redout, but Redout's like a race game, so like, what's there to know, really? So, I just thought I would do a quick video. Unfortunately, it's turning into almost a half hour, but I figured I would do my PS5 collection, and maybe I will do my PS4 collection next. I have quite a few more games for that, so maybe I'll just pick out like things that stand out in that collection. On that note, I hope to see you in the next one. Leave a comment if you've played anybody who's watching, all 19 of you legends. If you leave a comment if you've played any of these, or if there's any other games I should check out. On that, I will see you in the next one. Have a good weekend, and peace.